Hello, colleague. Today I'm going to be walking you through how we can support young children's learning in math, literacy, science, social studies, creative activities, and in ways that are culturally and linguistically responsive. I'm going to provide a more detailed focus on the math content area, and then I'm going to give you an overview of the other 4 content areas. We know that early learning builds the foundation for lifelong success. Children learn best when content connects to their culture, their language, and their experiences. So let's talk a little bit about why culturally and linguistically responsive content matters. Why is it so important? So this culturally responsive teaching, it means that we value our students. It means that we are reflecting their background and what we teach and how we teach it. So this is important to students because it builds confidence and identity. It increases engagement for them. It supports language development, and it helps children make meaningful connections. Next, let's go over each content area and just briefly talk about what it is and why it's important. So math is understanding numbers, patterns, and problem solving. Literacy is reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Science and STEAM is exploring the world through inquiry. Social studies is learning about people, communities, and time. Creative activities is expressing ideas through art, music, and movement. Let's think about why do we want to be culturally responsive in this? Why is it important? So this is going to help children see themselves in learning. As we already stated earlier, they do better when they can connect learning to their own experiences. It also is going to be a great way to support our dual language learners and promote inclusion and equity. So it's very important that we are valuing our students and taking this into consideration and being super intentional about being culturally responsive in our classroom. So the first content area is math. So let's go over math, some components of math. So counting in context is 1, measuring, building blocks, language of space or spatial awareness, patterns, and math games. Why are these skills so important? It's because it helps build problem solving skills, logical thinking, and all of these get our brains ready for math concepts later in life. Okay, so now I'm going to go and share some activities with you and talk about what specific math skills they target. So the primary focus of this video will be on these math resources. I have these in my room. You are free to borrow them anytime you need, and hopefully they are helpful to you. There's some things that have been using in my classroom for years that are very popular with the students and have really helped them. So I'm just going to go over each skill, talk briefly about the activity, and then I'm going to demonstrate that activity for you. So the first skill is Subotize. What is Subotize or Subotizing? What is that? What does it look like for our learners? So Subotize is the ability to quickly identify the number of items in a small group. We do this all the time as adults. In a game of dominoes, scoreboards, tally marks, we don't have to sit there and count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our brains just instantly recognize that was 4, that was 5, dice games. So this is a very important skill for young children to develop, and this is a pre-math skill. So an activity that I do for this in my classroom I take a metal cookie sheet and I use some type of magnet objects. I like to use magnet tiles because there's not a whole lot of design to them, so children aren't distracted by what is going on the object or what the object is. And I put them on the tray, and then I quickly flip the tray and flip it back, and they're able to tell me the amount that they have seen on the tray very quickly. So it's just a fun little game. I'm going to turn the camera around and demonstrate that for you now. So this is the tray that I like to use. It's just a dollar store find. It's a cookie tray. It's really durable for the kids. It doesn't bend easily. I like to use these clear colored magnet tiles. I do like to use all of the same color. So I will just place a set on here. Then I flip it and then flip it back. away from the children, and they're able to tell me what number that they saw very quickly. This is great because you can use this for multiple skill levels and just keep building on that number that you want them. If you've got a child that's, only able to recognize 3 or 4, it's good for that. If you want to go up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's also good for that. All right, so the next activity that I have is going to be targeting patterns. So patterns are a repeated design or recurring sequence. So we talk about this all the time in my early childhood classroom. It's a great early math pre-algebra skill. It helps kids to understand what comes next, to make those logical connections. So if you have spent any time with in the early childhood field, you know that patterns are huge and that you can make patterns of almost anything. So I'm going to show you an activity that I like to do in my classroom. I like to use colored bears. We have lots of objects for this, but this is the one that the kids really like. So I like to use colored bears, and then we are matching it to a card in front of us that have the different colored objects, and then they're matching those bears, and then they're able to continue that sequence and continue that pattern. And this is great because you can use this for students who are doing just the AB pattern, or a little bit more advanced students who are doing that ABC pattern. So here is the counting bears that I like to use for this pattern. Usually I have cards that have laminated colors on them, but you can use pretty much anything. So then I will do this with the students, and we can just go blue, green, we're matching each bear. So we talk about the pattern, we say, blue, green, and then we say what would come next. And then, they would put the next bear in the pattern and continue to go. You can add another color in there for the ABC pattern. So this is just a great little activity. It's super inexpensive. These bears are super durable. So the next thing we're going to talk about is math games. So math games are a great way to show children that they can use math in their everyday life. Remember, we want to be super intentional about our teaching. That is also part of being culturally responsive. We want them to think that they are playing, but we know that they are learning. So the next activity I have is just a little popsicle matching game. Children are matching the numbers to the dots on the popsicle, and it helps build that one-to-one correspondence. So here's the math game I like to use. It's great for little learners. It's something that they can actually put in their hands and manipulate. So they, again, are just matching. They're putting the number to the corresponding dots, and they're able to match it. And it's numbers 1 through 10, so it can build on multiple skill levels. Now let's talk about the component of literacy. So literacy is background knowledge, oral language, vocabulary, book and print knowledge, alphabet knowledge, early writing, and then phonological awareness. So this is so important because this is the foundation for all other areas of learning, and this scaffolds into every other aspect of learning. This is also so important for our dual language learners and to create that culturally responsive teaching for them. Then we have science and STEAM. So that's our inquiry, our observation, our problem solving skills. Science encourages curiosity, and it helps children to have a spot to ask questions. They're observing, they're experimenting with the environment. Then we have social studies. This is our identity, our community, our time, history. So this helps children understand themselves, their families, the world around them. So this is a great area to be culturally responsive, to create some inclusivity. We can have items in our classroom from different cultures. Next, we have creative activities. So this is our music, our art, our dramatic play, our movement. This allows children to express themselves socially and emotionally. This is all done in stages too. So we know that children develop at different stages. Infants are going to start exploring things with their senses. Toddlers are going to begin counting, naming objects. Preschoolers are going to start to work on that letter recognition, that number recognition. So when we create a culturally and linguistically responsive learning environment, we are supporting our students' academic success and their sense of identity. Thanks for your time, and welcome to the team.